Happy to have my next guest back on the show. It's Westin Wilson, who had another big win, another first round submission win, this time at Tuff-N-Uff 131 over Fabricio Franco. Westin, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Feeling great. Ready to go into the next one. Just let it roll.
Yeah, what is it with you and getting your opponents out of there quick and early in the first? That must be a darn good feeling.
Yeah, you would think that I don't like to fight, and that's why I get him out quick. But no, I don't know. I just fall into place. Like I'm not gonna stay in there longer than I need to. I'm not paid by the minute, so uh, people just give me the opportunity to get him out quick, and I'll take it. I'm not looking to stay in there any longer than I have to.
Have you noticed an evolution in maybe your ground game or a certain area of your game lately? I mean, to get these three wins quickly against high level opponents that had good promotions, have you been told that maybe by like your coaches or teammates that you're just kind of evolving lately?
So as far as joking around with Wonderboy, because obviously my teammate and I have a very similar striking style to him. Under Ray Thompson, we were joking around that I'm the love child between Wonderboy and Damian Maya, because I'll go to the ground and grapple. I think what it is my jujitsu is under Jiva Santana, the arm collector, and I actually was out there in February getting my brown belt. And I think because of my striking, I'll hit it guys a couple times and then they'll just like get really desperate and clinch and grapple. And that desperation is what causes like the openings with chokes and mostly chokes, but I mean arm bars as well. I've got a couple arm bar finishes. But yeah, I think and a lot of it has to do with my strength and conditioning as well. We work quite a bit on grip strength and quite a bit on my back and shoulders, because that's where a lot of the choking happens. Last fight, I didn't have it under the jaw, but he still went to sleep. I had it same as Grasso. I had it across his jawline. I didn't have it under the chin, but I think it's just because of the strength conditioning. I did just hits different.
Uh, Man, you mentioned Grasso. If I would have bet any money, I would have lost all of it against Shevchenko. But hey, that's a story for another day, my man.
I know.
As far as this particular fight with Franco goes, did you have a game plan going in? And did you feel like you executed it if you did have one?
So it's funny. Most fights, like I don't have a real game plan going in. Like I'll say to myself, like I'll strike with them or I'll grapple with them. This one I envisioned it exactly how it went. With like the two punches that got me on the face. I didn't envision those, but you can't be perfect. No, I literally envisioned it almost to the second. Like I was like, okay, 2 minutes, 51 seconds, I'll have him out. I'm gonna take his back, I'm gonna choke him out, and it'll be done. So it happened exactly how I thought it was. I was gonna get the timing, land those inside leg kicks because I noticed on his Bellator fight, he tried to pull the old I got kicked in the groin and find a way out. So I kicked him there twice really hard and I saw him wince. And so, okay, now I'm going to press him to the cage. And eventually he'll try to throw back and then I'm going to slip under, body lock, take him down, take his back and choke him out. And so literally that was the sequence I kept envisioning over and over again. And it happened. It just happened, 15 seconds quicker than I thought it would.
Well,
So
yeah, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
just the power of visualization. You hear about it, and that was exactly how I envisioned the fight and made it happen.
I actually love the visualization side of things. Yeah, have you ever read Rhonda Byrne, The Secret? Is that something that you, I guess, research and try and practice on a day to day basis?
So I haven't read the book The Secret, but I watched the documentary on it that came out a couple years ago. So I am familiar with it. I have like on several accounts of my life, like I do 100% believe in that, like self manifestation and things like that. Uh, like my whole fight career, with the exception of like getting to the UFC, like has been manifestations of that. Um, like when I synced up with Jiva, like I had trained with him several years prior, and I had always thought to myself, like, oh, like when I moved to California, and then we ended up moving to California through work, and then same thing with Wonder Boy. Like all throughout my early days, like I tried to develop that style of striking, and then fast forward 10 years later, I'm training with him, main training partner, and training with Coach T, um, and so like a lot of that, and the coach who's in my corner, Coach Davini, he's a big proponent of the whole mindset training and the wrestling mindset program. And so he talks a lot with me about just like visualize exactly how the fight's going to go, visualize exactly where you want to be in your life, and blah 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 blah. And so literally, it's like all I do now is just like write down exactly where I want to be and how to get there, and then I just visualize the steps of it happening. So I think we're close. We're getting there. Hopefully UFC is very soon. So
Yeah, I was just going to ask, where do you want to be by the end of this year?
man, I think I'll be UFC competing against some of the those contender series vets at 145 and whooping them. That's what's gonna happen. Is there's several of those contender series vets that I trained with in California and Texas and stuff like that they wouldn't spar with me anymore because I whoop them. And there's several guys who come into train with Wonder Boy, and you know I whoop those guys too. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Would you be satisfied, Weston? I mean, if you don't make it to the UFC, I mean, if you compete at one of the other like highest organizations out there, like a Bellator, a PFL, and you do really well, maybe you win a belt. I mean, would that satisfy you, or do you feel like you really have to make it to the UFC to accomplish what it is that you want to?
I mean, to me, that's the consolation prize. Like, I get it. Like, money wise, you can make just as much money now outside of the UFC. Um, and I get that. Like, I've had opportunities to be a backup for PFL. I did fight early in my career on a prelim card for Bellator, and they didn't sign me, and sucks for them. Um, but for me, and there was potential of me going and fighting on this one FC card in Denver in May. But I think it's just not. It's all a consolation uh, because I told myself when I was a young kid that it was UFC or bust, and that's the pedigree of excellence I want to set up for my life and for my kids and my grandkids and stuff like that. Is I said I would go to the UFC. I didn't say I was going to go to Bellator. I didn't say I was going to go to ONE FC. Like those are consolations. Like you don't go out and say I want to play for XFL. It's I want to go play for the NFL. And then once you make the NFL, and if it doesn't work out, then you go to the XFL. But like you're not, you know, shout out to AJ McCarron. Like you're not doing that. You know, I just read a piece about him, like how he made the NFL, but he didn't quite have the career, so he left, and now he's like killing it in the XFL. But like that's the progression, like UFC, and then after that, sure, I'll go fight for big money elsewhere. It's not. It's just I want that stepping stone first, and then go everywhere else.
So what was the importance of this one? Obviously, a really great regional promotion. It's on UFC Fight Pass, so a lot of eyeballs, watching you fight. Did this win, did this performance really kind of, put you on the doorstep of potentially getting that? I mean, it sounds like based on everything you're saying, you think that's the case.
Sean Shelby was there. He was there in person, and he got to watch front and center. And from what I'm hearing, they told me, to be ready. So I don't know. I feel like they say that to a lot of people, but I'm always ready. I mean, I could go. Shoot, I go this weekend if they told me, hey, someone fell through. Great, I'm ready to go. I'll cut the weight. I'll make the sacrifice. And I think like with my style, I don't take a lot of damage. I'm good on the ground. I'm good on my feet. I'm not really slowing down any. Even though I'm 34, like I still have that. Like I said, I'm the love child of Damian Maya and Wonder Boy. Both have fought long, and Wonder Boy's still going at 40, still looking like a 25-year-old. So I feel like, I'm 34 going on 19. So I don't feel old yet. Man, I think I can. Well, I don't think I know I can compete with all the guys in the 145 division. I have, Ryan Hall's come out, Chase Hooper's come out. I had Chase Hooper in my corner. Like, I'm very competitive with both of them. And you know, I know where I stand. Let's just put it that way. I know where I stand.
You're 34, you don't look a day over 24, so you got that going for you. You mentioned, stepping in and taking a short notice fight. What is the cut like for you now to 145? Is it still fairly doable if you need to take something, short notice?
Typically, like on my worst day, it's 25 to 20 pound cut. So it's doable. I've done it. I've done 30 in 7 days. So like it's doable. It's just not like enjoyable. Let's put it that way. 2 weeks, 14 days, I get there easy, no problem, no suffering. Um, I make enough money to where these next few weight cuts, I'm gonna probably hire a nutritionist just to make it even easier. Um, 55, I can make 55 extremely easy. And I mean, I fought as high as 70. I would fight at 70 if I needed to, but I'd probably get my butt whooped. I know where I'm at in the pecking order with those bigger guys. I mean, Weidman's beat the hell out of me. Wonder Boy's beat the hell out of me. I've gone with some of those bigger guys and gotten whooped. Not that I'm not competitive. It's just their power versus my power. Yeah, it's not stacking up,
And they're
especially over 15 minutes. It's not stacking up.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of those guys are cutting down from over 200 pounds, so it's a
Yeah.
significant difference. Do you feel like if you were offered a short notice fight at 55 that you could be competitive with most of the guys in that division, or do you feel like the smart
A
thing
thousand
is
percent. Yeah, 1,000%. I could be competitive. Short notice. Now there's killers like for sure, like Jalen Turner. No. And Gamrot, whatever, however you say his name. No, like there's those guys that are massive. But if you give me a 55er who's like 5'7", 5'8", yeah, I can handle it. The distance, the range, with being 6'1", 75-inch reach, like I can handle those guys, whether they're a striker or a grappler. But the guys that are bigger and taller, those are the guys that whoop the shit out of me. those,
Yeah, okay.
those are the guys where I get picked apart pretty good. I being a taller guy and always fighting like shorter guys, I do really well. If you were the same height, I'll do okay. If you're taller than me, that's my kryptonite. There you go. I gave you guys my kryptonite.
Okay, fair enough. Well, hopefully, any of the taller guys that you potentially might be fighting don't watch this. But I wanted to circle back to a fight. That I guess your last loss, because the last time that I did speak with you, you recapped your XMMA 4 win, and then at XMMA 5, you lost to Ishihara. So I just wanted to
Yeah.
kind of get your take. What happened there? What's the takeaway? How did you grow?
So that was an interesting fight. So there was a lot going on. Like I was throwing my own promotion a week before. I was supposed to fight Keith Lee, which was a whole different opponent, whole different style of fight. Orthodox fighter, and then and a wrestler. And historically, I do really well against those type of guys. To go into more of a kickboxer who's also southpaw, so I was actually doing really well in the beginning of that fight, and then there was a moment where I actually broke my toe on the canvas. So there's a little divot in the canvas, and I broke my toe, and so then I lost my bounce. I wasn't like moving in and out as well, and I got really flat-footed. And then that's when he started landing the leg kicks. So the knockout, it wasn't that he knocked me out and they stopped the fight. It was because I couldn't get back up because he actually broke my femoral head on my calf or like the where the bone and knee meet. So that broke and shut down the nerves in the leg. Um, and so like I was plotting forward. So I had on my left foot, I had a broken toe, and then on my right leg, I had a broken femoral head and basically got drop foot, and couldn't feel my ankle underneath me. So when he hit me, I just kind of everything went out. He did hit hard, but it wasn't like I was unconscious. Like I was coming to and trying to get back up, and that's why they stopped the fight. I think, full camp, it would be, a different story. So I honestly, I prefer to be the short notice guy who's not preparing to fight. I feel like a lot of times, as long as you're in shape, you have the advantage. Because like when you're preparing for a fight, you're preparing for a specific person, and everything you're doing is preparing for that one person. And then when you're the short notice guy coming in, you got nothing to lose. You're not preparing for anyone. You're just ready for everything.
How long were you on the shelf after that fight?
I fought 6 weeks later.
Okay, so there
I
wasn't
have a
that
really
long.
great physical therapist. We got everything rehabbed up. I fought 6 weeks later. The commission only gave me a 30-day because I showed him the tape saying like, look, I'm not unconscious. I get immediately back up. I'm grabbing my leg after the fight. The doctor who saw me, he was like, yeah, no, he's fine. Everything was cleared. So I fought 6 weeks later. I subbed that guy in 30 seconds. Then I fought 6 weeks after that. And then I boxed 30 days after that. So like I had a busy end of the year after that Ishihara fight to get back. So I went on a 3-fight win streak. One of them was a professional boxing match. I fought a kid at 170. He was 11-1 as a boxer, and I smoked him too. So I beat him 4 rounds of 2, 6-round fight.
Yeah.
Um,
I saw you at a UD boxing win there on your Tapology as well. So
yeah.
yeah, man, everything's clicking right now. Right now, this moment, are you the best version of yourself that you've ever been?
Yeah, I would like to say so. I think mentally, I'm on another level. I really started turning a corner. You know, after the Mike Wilson fight, for me that was a big fight because I went in there, I traded heavy shots and just proved I still had a chin, and then I double proved to myself I had a chin by boxing against a boxer with knockout wins. I didn't go easy like the Jake Paul route and fight all these guys who weren't boxers. Like I went right in the deep end, boxed a legit boxer, um, and just and that was also to prove to myself. Like everybody was like, "Dude, why are you doing this? Like it's so stupid. Like why are you boxing? There's so much risk. You get hurt, yada yada yada." But for me, it was to like prove that one, I could go more than a round because I knew in boxing I wasn't going to finish the guy in a round. I mean, I could have. It could have happened, but it didn't. I knew it wasn't statistically going to happen. And I wanted to prove that I just mentally tougher than I give myself credit for. And so that like that boxing match was like it was a gamble, but for me it was like, hey, there's some big positives mentally if I win this.
Mhm.
And so we did get the win. I'm not gonna lie, I was super nervous. I was like telling Coach T in the back, like, why the hell am I doing this? Like, we need to go home. Let's get out of here. Like, we're in the blue corner. Everybody's losing the blue corner. And Coach T is like, no, you're gonna nut up, you're gonna win, you're gonna punch this dude in the face. And if you saw the dude's face afterwards, cut eyes, broken nose, raccoon mask, he was messed up. And for me it was awesome. Like the first 4 rounds, great. Last 2 rounds sucked. I was so tired just getting punched in the face, but it was a lot of fun. And if the UFC doesn't happen, I'm gonna continue boxing. So I'll
Okay.
probably, if I'm not in the UFC by like June, I'm gonna probably box in June.
Okay. Very cool. So perfect time frame, Weston. If you could have your choice, I mean, if the UFC doesn't call, what are you hoping to happen next? Is there a certain promotion that you'd like to fight for? Is there an opponent that you feel like would make the most sense to kind of get you over the top and maybe get you into the big show?
In terms of opponent, I don't know. I don't know who out there. I don't know yet. XMA is doing April 7th. I know that half of my team thinks it's just best to kind of wait for, the next month and a half to see, if the dust settles. After a month and a half, fight again. Um, I know I'd prefer not to go the contender series route. I'd rather just short notice in the UFC. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. Uh, yeah, I don't know promotion people. Like, I'm just going along for the ride right now. I think I mean, I'm 9-2 in my last 11, all first round finishes. I don't know what else to do, honestly. Yeah, I
No,
don't know, man. I don't know who do you think? What are your thoughts?
well, I mean, there's a lot of really good featherweights spread around the country regionally. I mean, I know when I'm not interviewing, UFC or Bellator fighters, a lot of my attention goes to, here in the Northeast. So, and I doubt you're going to be traveling all the way up here, but I'm sure as long as you get on the right card, like the right promotion, whether it's LFA or XMMA again or Tuff-N-Uff, I'm sure as long as you get on the right promotion, and you have another big win. It seems like from everything that I'm hearing, even talking to Ed before the interview, he seemed to think that you were ready to go into the UFC. So it seems like you're right there on the cusp.
Yeah, I think so. And that's kind of why, like, we're looking at maybe not doing XMMA, even though I've been with them for a while and I love them as a promotion. I mean, they're super awesome. And outside UFC, like, I'm content just fighting with XMA. I have a really good relationship with the owners and the matchmaker. And they treat me, like how I want to be treated. And so I'm really loyal to them as a promotion. And I'll definitely be at their next show in Myrtle Beach. They've pitched a couple names. We're just not sure yet who we want. Um, Out of there. I know that they want me to fight either an ex Bellator vet or an ex UFC vet, which I'm perfectly content doing. I think I want to fight a grappler this next one because Franco is a striker. So I want to fight a grappler and show off my striking. That's what I want.
Awesome, my man. Well, the future is bright for you. Again, congrats on the most recent win. Looking forward to seeing you back in there next, whenever that may be, whatever promotion that may be for. But it is always great to talk to you, Weston. Before we do sign off, I want to give you the floor as always. Please tell people where they can follow you on social media. If you have anyone to thank, any sponsors to plug, the floor is yours.
Yeah, just at Westin Wilson's where I'm on social media. You'll occasionally catch me on Wonderboy's YouTube channel as well, so go follow his YouTube channel. And obviously, great support here in South Carolina with the Upstate Karate team and the coaches there. And yeah, that's they make the dream work.